Today we're in the current generation Lexus GX460 to talk about the upcoming Lexus GX. As we know, this generation of GX with its naturally aspirated V8 engine are on the way out. What we do know is the new GX is going to get a turbo engine, the V8's gone. But what we're going to talk about today is not the engine of the next gen GX, but 3 exciting new features other than the engine that you should be excited about. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're in the beautiful sunshiny Mojave Desert to talk about the next gen GX, Lexus GX. But we're not going to talk about the engine. As stated in the intro, this V8 is on the way out and it's either going to get a V6 or a Turbo 4. That is known, that is guaranteed. What we're going to talk about instead today are 3 features that you should be excited about, particularly off-road features that will most likely be on the next gen GX. And let's just jump right into it, okay? So the first feature that's likely to come on the next gen GX is turn assist. At least Lexus calls it turn assist, but you'll know it as switchback assist. Now, what is switchback assist? Well, you've all been off-road and you're going down a windy mountain trail, whether it's up or down, and suddenly you'll have a switchback, and that's a sharp either left or right turn that comes back at you at a very, very sharp, extreme angle. And when you're on a when you're doing a switchback off-road, it can be very unnerving because generally with a turning radius and stock format, you're going to have to pull some sort of 3-point turn or 6-point turn or 9-point turn to get your car to get into this tight switchback. What's likely to happen in the next GX is an implementation of a switchback feature, and this switchback feature will essentially break the rear wheel on the side that you're going to turn on. In other words, if you're making a sharp driver side turn, you know, to my left, and this is a switchback to the left, sharp left, what it's going to do is break the driver's rear wheel and allow you to take a sharper turn and get up that switchback without messing around with 3-point turns or 6-point or 9-point turns. Now, this may seem like a silly gimmick to you, and that's understandable. You know, it's new technology and people tend to think, it's just a gimmick, I'm never going to use that. But like most technology, people do eventually find out that there is a practical use for it, and it's not really a gimmick after all once they get used to it. And I think Toyota engineers are not creating a gimmick with this turn assist because switchbacking is common when you go off-road, and having an extra aid, traction aid, to help you handle a switchback will just make your overall off-roading experience that much more pleasurable and in control. So I don't perceive it as a gimmick. I perceive it as something that's going to add to the overall pleasurability of the off-road experience. In other words, the Land Cruiser experience, which is about refining the off-road experience. So get excited about that. That's the switchback control. I'm very excited for it because switchbacks do get tiring off-road, and to be able to hit a button and take a sharp turn and that's it, you're done, you're over, get on with the rest of your trail, I think that's going to add to a lot of enjoyment off-road. Alright, the second feature most likely to come in your Lexus GX, the next gen GX, other than the new engine, is going to be multi-terrain select additions. In other words, an expansion on the current multi-terrain select system. Now, what's likely to happen is Lexus is going to add new modes both in 4Low and 4High. In other words, new modes in the multi-terrain select system. And these are going to be snow, mud, loose sand. They're going to expand upon those and even add an auto mode. This auto mode will essentially be able to tell. In other words, the car's computer will tell right now that I'm on, whatever this is, hard dirt with rocks. And it'll be able to adjust the MTS automatically to fit this particular terrain that I'm on. In other words, you don't have to guess. Do I have to hit sand? Do I have to hit mogul? Do I have to hit rock? Do I have to hit snow? Though snow's kind of obvious. But you're not going to have to guess. It's going to take that, am I in the right mode type of question out of the equation, and instead make it automatic. So when I'm on terrain like this, cruising right now, in the next gen GX, and I have multi-terrain select auto selected, it's going to adjust the traction control for this particular terrain, even if the terrain changes. Now, some people think, again, multi-terrain select is a gimmick, but it is not. Most GX buyers love multi-terrain select. It's not a gimmick. It varies both the track system and the A-track system accordingly. So depending on what mode you're in, it will essentially allow more wheel slip or allow less wheel slip. And these are objective benefits off-road. They're not gimmicks. Everybody knows in sand you want more wheel spin. Well, that's what MTS does for you. Everybody knows when you're rock crawling, you want no wheel spin. And that's what MTS in rock mode is for. Which is essentially just A-track. But my point is, the next gen GX is going to expand upon this. And that's, before we get to number 3, I want to touch upon this expansion and where all this speculation comes from. It is speculation, of course. Nobody knows for sure what the new GX is going to be like, but we can intelligently speculate about the next gen GX because Toyota and Lexus follow something called the Kaizen Principle. And Kaizen is a Japanese principle that loosely translates into continual improvement. This is what makes Toyota and Lexus, this Kaizen principle of continual improvement. So it is highly likely that Toyota is going to improve upon these existing systems. We do have clues that this is more than just wanton speculation, because the current generation Land Cruiser 300, which is not offered currently in the United States, has many of these features. And if Toyota follows the Kaizen principle and the historical principle of offering the same big boy Land Cruiser stuff in the little Land Cruiser Prado, we're most likely to get these features I'm talking about today. But Kaizen, continual improvement, and improvement upon the multi-terrain select seems logical. Imagine an auto MTS, and here I am in loose sand right now. Imagine if it just automatically switched the track system if I'm in 4 high for sand mode, or if I was in 4 low in sand, the auto MTS switched the A-track system into its own sand mode. So it would be incredible. And it would indeed follow that philosophy of continual improvement. All right, let's get on to the third and final most likely new feature in the next gen GX, and this one's an exciting one for everybody, especially Americans. And again, it's speculation, but this is lockers. Yes, lockers. So lockers is something that, is a cultural thing. So the car does not have traditional lockers. It has the A-track system, which has been out now for years, over a decade, and it is phenomenal. It essentially takes the place of lockers. We have put this to this test, and I do firmly believe that A-track can do anything triple lock can do. I've yet to see any situation where triple locked can do it, but A-track cannot do it, ever. And we have tried to get this thing stuck with just A-track, and it is impossible. The only way to get a current Gen GX stuck is to high center, which we have done 2 times. But as far as needing traditional lockers, A-track has you covered. So it's a phenomenal system. But Toyota and Lexus realize that in particular markets, specifically the American market and parts of the Australian market, there is a cultural attachment to traditional locking differentials, front, center, and rear. Now, you already know the GX has a center locker, an A-track standard, but Toyota and Lexus may listen to the feedback from American consumers and Australian consumers and go ahead and make everybody happy by putting front and rear lockers on the next gen GX. What this does essentially is take the argument out of, is this the ultimate land cruising beast? Which it is, of course. But no, seriously, it takes the questioning of A-Track out of the situation, because quite frankly, Toyota has not done a good job marketing A-Track. You know, Japanese marketing is quite frankly very humble. They're not going to rub it in your face. Lexus marketing is even more humble, so they're doubly not going to rub it in your face. If the A-Track system was, say, in the Jeep Wrangler, and I know they have a similar system, but if the A-Track was in say a Jeep Wrangler or a Dodge Ram, it would be called something like the super duper off-road super duper automatic traction automatic locker super duper thingamajig. I'm exaggerating because that's how awesome A-Track is. However, Toyota and Lexus has not done a good job convincing the masses, despite the proof that exists out here. They spend no time. They spend zero marketing effort convincing you how awesome A-Track is. You have to get out and test it. And quite frankly, in the beginning days of YouTube, there wasn't a lot of ways to for people to visually prove A-Track through YouTube. So that's changing now, and this channel, certainly check it out if you want to see A-Track in action. But Toyota realizes that Americans and Australians are slow to adopt the concept of A-Track, so they may just go ahead and throw front and rear lockers back into the GX along with A-Track, because remember, in order for MTS to work, which works off the track and A-Track system, you need to keep in that A-Track and track system. So you're going to have A-Track, track, front and rear lockers. It's going to take all the debate out of the question. For anybody who just doesn't get it, Toyota's going to go ahead and probably, with the next gen GX, and just put it all out there and remove all doubt that the GX is the Land Cruiser Prado and the one to get. So again, this is all speculation, but again, it is based upon the existing Land Cruiser 300 that's out now, its features, and the Kaizen Principle, which dictates that Toyota and Lexus must improve, continually improve upon this Lexus GX, which is already phenomenal. But Kaizen says they got to make it even better, continually. If you found this video helpful, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a great day.